Hi friends, my name is Jacques Levy. I studied in Lima, Peru at Markham College on a British program with O and A levels. Then I went to study at Oberlin College in Ohio. Came back to Lima, had graduated in economics, and in Lima I started working in construction, started developing land, buildings, then participated in other entrepreneurial endeavors like banking. By the time I was 28, my family was involved in banking, in communications, and real estate. And so we continued developing. Then we decided to do bigger investments and selling some, participating in others. I ended up in a new bank called Banco del Nuevo Mundo. With my family, we had the controlling stake. And that developed very fast. And we were about to buy another bank. We had been granted, we were buying the bank. We had already done the due diligence. We were asking permission to the superintendents of banking after having had the contracts by our lawyers ready. And we are being intervened by the authorities who had decided to sell our bank to someone else, who found out that we were missing $200 million they don't account for, and we've been fighting ever since. As we continued fighting, they decided to take also a piece of land from us. They decided that we had to be punished furthermore. We had to go to jail. So they wanted to put us in jail. Is all this possible? I had to write a book. All the news were colluded with power. All the authorities were colluded with some guys who apparently wanted to take us out of the market, private interests. Most probable feeling we had some competition. Or simply, they wanted to get our assets. Whichever way, which we definitely have a hard time understanding, is a reality. We're fighting for the information of the liquidation of our bank, which law permits. We have all the right, but all the authorities have been fighting to put us in jail and not to give us the information of a healthy bank. How was it all our assets were disposed of? Well, we have found out through time that the systems in Peru are totally corrupt. We have lots and lots of documentation, proof, everyone knows about the subject, and yet we have qualifications for investing in Peru which make me wonder about these guys that make the qualifications. I don't know if they have considered the reality of our legal system, the judiciary power in Peru. They are totally subdued to the executive power. And so was the legislative. And they are totally corrupt. They don't abide by the laws. They have a practice of making use of their power, not compiling, not acting according to their responsibilities. Here in Peru, for example, we have an American bank that constantly is dedicated to help different ministers of economics to issue bonds. I ask myself, who has the monopoly? Which American bank has the monopoly? Isn't there competition? Or are they used to dealing with ministers and how the deal is done? I have no doubt that there's something cooking if you keep the same auditing firms in any company during too many years. It's not healthy. In the same manner, you cannot have one American bank constantly serving the authorities of the Ministry of Economics, or something is happening. I ask myself, what has happened with Arthur Andersen? I know the guys, Arthur Andersen in Peru, they just recycled themselves and they have another, they call themselves another company. They were Arthur Andersen. Nothing changes. There's impunity. We are bound by a corrupt system. If you ask me, how are we being persecuted and nothing happens? I invite you to read my book, to read all the documents that have been added. It is in English, just by getting in www.roboalbanconuevomundo.com, English version. You won't believe it. But I'm telling you, not many people fight this. And we live under a corrupt system that doesn't make people protected. I used to have an auditor at the bank called Pricewaterhouse until the 30th of November, the year 2000. They made one balance sheet and then they closed a totally different balance sheet when we were intervened. This is technically impossible. They did it. Well, my friends, I can tell you many stories, but please enter our webpage, read my book, and you will have to read the probatory documents in order to believe what I tell you. Thank you.